We know that we can use several methods to solve ratio problems, but what happens when we have two different ratios that we have to deal with? We can still use the methods that we know for repeating the pattern and using tables of equivalent ratios, but what we have to recognize is that when we are dealing with two different ratios, we cannot put them in the same table and we cannot use one tape diagram. So let's look at the problem that we have here. It says that the ratio of the number of blueberry muffins, which I'm going to use a B, 2 corn muffins in a bakery is 8-5. Okay, so here we go, 8-5. The ratio of corn muffins to poppy seed muffins was 4-3. And there are 150 poppy seed muffins. And we want to know how many more blueberry than poppy. So we're going to put this many more blueberry than poppy. And the reason that we do that, the reason we set up our answer now is because of that question amnesia thing, right? We don't want to do a whole bunch of work, and it looks like we're going to do quite a bit of work, and then forget what we're being asked. So if I set up my answer first, I don't have to go back and read the total problem all over again. So now let's talk about two strategies that we use for ratios, and one is a tape diagram. Now, again, these are two different ratios. You'll notice that the corn muffins are common to both, but because in one ratio we have the part of the ratio that is corn muffins is 5 and the other is 4, we can't use the same tape diagram. So let's make separate tape diagrams, okay? So for blueberry, we're going to have 8. Let's see if we can. Here we go. The boxes are kind of small, but, and then for the corn, we're going to have 5. And again, I attach them. It's just easier to make the boxes the same size, and that's a reminder that all the boxes must be the same. Okay, so 8-5, and let's see, it says we have 150 poppy seed muffins, so, well, I don't know how many corn muffins there are. So I'm going to have to do my other ratio, and I'm going to do corn, poppy, okay, and let's see, I have 4-3. Okay, now let's see, I have 150 poppy seed muffins, and so I'm going to put 150 here, and that means that there are 50 in each because it's 150 total muffins divided evenly among 3 boxes, and that would be 50 per box. So I'm going to put 50 in each of these. Okay, and now let's see how many corn muffins would there be. So that would be 50, 100, 50, 200, 200 corn muffins. Okay, so now there are 200 corn muffins. I'm going to use this number of 200. I'm going to bring it up here, and I have to keep my ratio the same. But now I have a new piece of information, and that piece of information is that there are 200 corn muffins. And so I have 200 corn muffins, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. So 200 divided by 5 is going to give me 40. Okay, and so in this case, a 40 goes in each box. And that goes up here too. And you see that you cannot assume that all the boxes are going to be the same in each tape diagram. So now let's count up the blueberry muffins. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of course, we have 8 times 40 equals 320 blueberry muffins. And now the final step, because again, you could say, aha, 320 blueberry muffins, but that's not what they're asking. They're asking how many more blueberry muffins. That means they're asking for the difference between the number of blueberry muffins and the number of poppy seed muffins. So we're going to take our 320 blueberry minus the number of poppy, which is 150. And we are going to get, see, 170. And so there are 170 more blueberry than poppy. Okay, now that's one option. And again, you saw that I set up the first ratio table, the first tape diagram comparing blueberry to corn, but I didn't have enough information to fill in the table, so I then had to say, gee, like maybe I have to do something else, and I realized that I had to set up the second tape diagram in order to get a value of 200 to put in the first one. Okay, well, if ratio tables are more your thing, let's see if we can use a ratio table. Okay, now, interesting here, what we have is, we have, I'm going to write this again, blueberry to corn is 8 to 5. And corn to poppy is 4 to 3. And let's see what we can do here. Okay, now, again, the thing that they have in common is the corn muffin part of the ratio, right? But if you see that the corn muffins are not the same, in order to combine these two ratios, because I would ultimately like to do a ratio of blueberry to corn to poppy seed, in order to do that, I'm going to try to find a way to make that number for the corn muffins be the same in both tables. And so I'm going to look at 5 and 4, and I'm going to ask myself, what is the least common multiple? And the least common multiple is 20, okay? And so if I can get the number of corn muffins in each part of that ratio to be 20, then I can combine the two tables. So how do I get there? I have to multiply 5 by 4, which means I would have to multiply 8 by 4. That's going to be 32. And in this table, in order to get from 4 to 20, I have to multiply by 5. And so I have to multiply this by 5, and that's going to give me 15. Well, I can now combine these tables, and I can have, so I'm looking here, I'm looking at this row. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a new ratio table. I'm going to write a new ratio of blueberry to corn to poppy, and I'm going to use this highlighted row. So I'm going to say the ratio is 32 to 20 to 15. And I can do that because, again, the 20 corn muffins is the same in each of these tables. Okay, what is the other piece of information that they're giving me? There are 150 poppy seed muffins. So, make your new table. 150, Poppy, oh, this is easy multiplication, times 10, which would give me 320, and times 10, which would give me 200. And you can see that the numbers are the same as with the tape diagram. And now again, I have to go back and look how many more blueberry than Poppy. 320 minus 150 is going to give me 170, and that is the same answer as we got up here. So those are two ways to do ratio problems where you are comparing two different ratios.